All right, 8th graders, lesson 6.4 is about standard form equations. Last time we talked about the slope-intercept form of equations. These are what are called standard form equations. And the first concept is to use the x-intercept and the y-intercept to graph an equation. Okay? Now we know what the y-intercept is. That's where it crosses the what? The y-axis, right. For the x-intercept, that's where it crosses the x-axis, right. And for the y-intercept, how far do we go over when you're graphing the y-intercept? What is the x-coordinate? It's 0 because it's on the y-axis. So when you're finding the y-intercept, you can make x 0, or x has a 0 value. Does that make sense? And if you're going to graph and find the x-intercept, that means that the y is 0. Okay? So let's say that you have this equation, x plus y equals 5. It has the x and the y in it. And if you use the x-intercept, the y-intercept, you make x 0, then what would y be? 0 plus what equals 5? 5. So then the y is 5. And if y is 0, then x is what? 5. Yep. So we can graph this simply by finding the 2 points on the graph. 0, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 5, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0. We can graph that equation this way, just by finding those points. Okay? That's the simplest way to graph the equation in this form. And this form is called standard form. We're going to use this process to graph standard form equations. Look at these notes. A standard form equation looks like this. AX plus BY equals C. Yeah. Yep. AX plus BY equals C. So I'll take you through these numbers here. You have to write what? So let's say that A stands for apples and B stands for bananas. And you bought so many pounds of apples and so many pounds of bananas, and it was a total cost of $25. Okay? Now, to graph this using the standard form method, you can make x 0 and find y, and you can make y 0 and find x. Okay? So, in this equation, if x is 0, then how can you solve it for y? Come on, people. If x is 0,
3y equals $25.
then 3y equals $25.
So that would be
Divide by 3. 1/3. $8.33. Okay. And if y is 0,
4x minus 25, which is 5.
no,
Will equal
5.
that means 4x equals 25. 25 divided by 4 is
6 and 1/4.
5. No, wait. Never mind.
6 and 1/4.
I was thinking
6.25. Right? So to graph the possibilities, we can graph it then by drawing our graph, marking 0, 833, and 625, 0, and drawing our line. It's pretty simple. Okay? Let's look at another example. This is example 2 in your book. Write down 2x plus 3y equals 12. X plus 3y equals 12. Let's graph it using the intercepts. X and y. Now what?
X would be 2 and the y would be...
So x is 0, then
3y equals
3y
12.
equals 12.
3y by 3,
4.
12 divided by 3.
Yeah. Y equals 4. And if y is 0, then x equals 6. Graph it. 0, 4, and 6, 0. See how quickly you can graph this equation using the standard form method? So anytime those questions that you have, you know of that you're going to multiply something by x and something by y, those kind of lend themselves to the standard form equation. Okay? The other ones are the ones that have the rate or plus a starting amount. We talked about those. And what form is that? If it has a starting amount and then a rate that it goes up or down, what type of equation is that? Slope-intercept. Okay? If you have those, if you have that information, use the slope-intercept equation. Or use slope-intercept form. If you have two things added together equals something else, then use the standard form. Okay? Any questions? We'll practice standard form for tomorrow.